with some of the weapons that the prawns have developed. But it turns out that the weapons can only be used, it has a genetic factor in it, which means that only the prawns can use it. So they've been basically stockpiling weapons, taking them away from the prawns, and not really being able to do anything with them. And now they're going to move the prawns from District 9 to District 10. And that's sort of where we start catching up with the main character, Vicus, who has been sort of appointed to evict all the aliens. And it's a semi-humorous thing because he's treating all the prawns as if, like, you know, they're beer-bellied guys in their late 40s who've carpeted their floors with pizza boxes, and they're being evicted from their apartment. So he's like just banging on the doors of these little shacks and stuff, and the prawns come out. Oh, and there's an important thing you have to understand about the language. It's kind of like the Wookiees in Star Wars, where, you know, they're both speaking their different languages. Humans are speaking English, and then the prawns are speaking their own language. But there's an understanding between the two. They each understand the other language. It's just like their vocal cords can't actually produce the other language, that kind of thing. Anyway, so things start to get bad when Vicus goes into this one shack, and he's exposed to some alien matter. And make long story short, he starts having some problems, and he actually, well, he breaks his arm. One prawn, I think, like, whacks him with a shovel or something. I'm not gonna, like, tell the entire story, but this is an important fact. So he, like, breaks his arm, so that's in a cast, but then he starts having all these medical problems. So he's taken into the hospital, they cut open his cast, and they find out that his hand is actually becoming, like, a prawn hand. So somehow his DNA is actually being transformed into prawn DNA. And that's where, you know, the signs of corruption begin. Because now the MNU wants to they realize that he can use the alien technology because he's got their DNA. So they take him into this underground room, and Vicus sees all these like really burnt up corpses of prawns, and it's obvious that they've been doing like genetic experimentation on the poor little guys down in the basements or whatever. And so then they're gonna start hacking him up. They say, no, we gotta kill this guy. We're gonna harvest everything we can because his DNA is in balance between human and prawn. So they're basically gonna chop him up and harvest every shred of DNA that they possibly can. And they're talking about this very, very ordinarily. Like, the one doctor's like, okay, we're gonna take a scalpel straight to the chest, and we're just gonna open him up. They're talking about it as if they were dissecting a frog or something, and then Vicus is like, no, no, don't do this to me. And then, of course, he eventually breaks free, and so all the scientists and stuff, they're all like, ah! And then Vicus is all like, ah! And I'm just like, Jill, it's his birthday. That's hardly called for. But anyway, he eventually runs back, and he runs and actually hides in District 9, the one place no one would think to look for him. And that's when things start to get really gory, because he discovers, of course he now knows that he can use the alien weaponry. And he actually goes to some of the Nigerian criminals there, and he actually manages to acquire some of the weapons. And the alien technology, the alien weaponry, is just awesome looking. I mean, even though this isn't a full-on action movie, if you want to see an action movie, District 9 can be that for you. If you want to see a political allegory, it can be that for you. If you want to see an alien movie, it can be that for you. It can satisfy so many groups of moviegoers. It's transcendent. But anyway, the various things that the alien weaponry can do is really awesome. There's this one that's like a push cannon or whatever, it just like shoots people across the room. There's one that shoots like a bolt of electricity that actually makes people explode. And there's a lot of exploding. A lot of people getting hacked up and stuff. And